Hi everybody! We're 1 week further on in the road to fixing up this little old boat. Last week I ended with painting the engine compartment in the first primer coat, and secondly I'm today going to put on the first top coat. That's the color white. Last week I made far too much paint, so I have to be aware of that, not to use too much. What else am I going to do this weekend? Well, I'm planning on finishing the sink, make the connection to the through hole, so I can cross that off the to-do list. One of the to-do things I have to take a look at is the steering column, the pedestal, and check how the chain and wire are conditionally. I have the quadrant at home, and that's been nicely cleaned up. But before I want to put it all together, I first want to have a look at the chain, and therefore I took out the compass from the pedestal. And this compass, as you can probably tell, is I think it had its last days, but yeah, you cannot see anymore through the glass. And there's this part missing, and I figured out it is a Plastimo, but yeah, I have to do some research online to get the right one fitting in my pedestal once more, so that's another thing I have to do. Furthermore, I have to check out the distance between the holes of the engine mounts, the flexible engine mounts. So last week I finished the first primer coat, and the only primer coat I'm actually going to use. And I have to say, it turns out pretty nice. I see now I've missed a few minor spots, but that should be no biggie at all. I'm particularly pleased with the fact that all diverting pipes are now sealed in, so there could be no water leaks seeping through the hoses and ending up here in the middle where there will be no bilge pump. The only bilge pump will be mounted over there. Okay, these are the holes I talked to you about. I have to measure the distance. There are 4 of them, 2 on each side. I'm going to prepare for the first top coat, so give it a good clean, maybe a light bit of sanding, and then yeah, I can put on the first top coat. Yay! And immediately there's a little issue here. These pipes work well, because when I put on the vacuum on the side of one of the pipes, it immediately attracted water, so there has been water entering this part of the boat here and going in through the pipes. Yeah, that's a good thing, because I know then that it's working, but it also means that I have to fix the leak in the hatch over here. So that's definitely I have to do this weekend. One other thing I noticed is that the diesel intake line here, which I cut off as a copper pipe, started dripping as well. So I going to put on some glove and tape it up. For those of you who wonder how much paint I wasted, well, it's about this much. It came clean out of the plastic container, the measuring cup. So yeah, I guess I'm going to put this away, seal it up, because it smells like whoa. And then I might have another genius idea, and that is to reuse these cups by putting in a bit of plastic. It's the first try, so yeah, don't know how it works out. There we go. This one is specially mixed on a raw color. Here in Europe we use this kind of a roll system with numbers to get all the colors right. I think it's international, so in the US or Canada or wherever you're living might be exactly the same. I'm not sure. Okay, where are they going to put this? I need to clean up. Now a little of mixy mixy. Ooh, this definitely smells again. So I actually made a mistake. I thought I had the Sigmador 550, but I think that's the high gloss equivalent of the Sigmador 520 that I have. That is a more satin finish. And I think they're basically the same. They're both a two-component polyurethane paint, so yeah, not much to it. So a little more about the color. I chose the RAL color 9001, also known as crème white. So it's a bit of an off-white, I guess. Crème white. Now I marked the cans 88 to 12, so I know these two belong together. And yeah, I think I'm done mixing the base part. And now it's just the filling of the cup. On second hand, I think I'll take out the plastic because I cannot stir it once it's in here. So great idea, but not for stirring. Here we go. That's one. That's two. Yeah, this is no success. Dripping too much. Everything covered already. Pick up the bucket. Do it like it's supposed to go. This is going to be interesting. Yep. Okay, totally different approach because the measuring approach didn't work out. So let's put it on a scale. I'm gonna need 67.5 grams of this stuff. 67.5. 67. Oh. Yep. Perfect. So now it's just mixy. Very good mixy. Anyway, I'm already reusing this cup, so nothing to worry about. It smells like... Ooh. Okay, some of these. And I'm going to need a brush, and of course that's in the car, so I have to go down below. Okay, so I just finished the first top coat. Fortunately, I just came short a tiny bit. Yeah, but for now I'm pretty pleased. So the next thing on the to-do list for today is fitting the 40mm hose to the sink and to the through hole. Because it's a short distance and there's not a lot of height difference, it's going to be really tricky and fiddly, I suppose, to get it all right. The hose is reinforced with metal wire. I think I have to apply some heat to the hose to get the correct bend I need. Let's see it. So as you can see here, there's just a little tiny amount of space between the outlet and the through hole, so we have to be really creative here. The plastic thing above connected to the sink, of course, is not all that strong, so, and this is quite stiff. It can make kind of a bend, but not really the bend I need to go over there. And yeah, I think I might start with connecting the hose over there, because that can have a little bit of force while trying to get the hose to the right length and in shape with the heat gun. So because it's quite a tight space, I'm going to try to use super fuel on my GoPro and let you guys see what I'm trying to do here. So first of all, let's take this one off. And oh shoot, yeah, I fixed this one already, so I have to make a wild guess here to what bend I need and if it's even possible. So let's see about this. There's no way this is gonna go like this, so I need heat. That's really easy, and that's also easy. I just applied the right amount of heat, I guess. So it was relatively easy. I'm actually quite pleased with that. Okay, thus far the dry fit. Now these things have to go in here, 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 and there. Uh-oh. So I found out what was wrong. Actually, the old fitting did have had a little bit of a different thread on it as the new. So I'm just going to get this one, but then in the new style, and all should be good. But of course not today. As you can tell, it's beautiful weather today. It's actually almost too hot, but we're not complaining. So I got this piece of wood. I fabricated this out of 3 sheets of plywood, 18 millimeters, and this is supposed to go beneath the pedestal. This is A for support, and B, there's support connected also for the rudder, for the quadrant, with 2 spinning discs to guide the chain and cable going to the quadrant. Well, the old one was totally rotten, so I made a new one. I pre-drilled some holes. I oversized them actually, so they can be epoxied in, and then drill the correct size hole. So that should be much better for in concern to water tightness. I already coated it with one coat of epoxy, clear epoxy, and now I'm going to prime it. So yeah, let's make some primer. Now, because it's just a small item, I'm going to use just a bit of paint. So I'm going with the Sigma cover once more, the primer, and I'm gonna weigh it in a small cup so we can get the right amount. Mixing ratio 4:1. Oh my, I'm already covered. And it's not even Sigma cover. Oh yeah. Okay. we make it a nice mix. We make it a mix with the herbs, the tomato and the cheese to make it a perfect pizza. Just kidding, of course. I wish it was pizza, but it isn't. I'm a little bit short on rollers, so I'm just going to use the brush. Yeah, since I'm out in the open, I'm not gonna bother wearing a mask. I know, it's debatable. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. In this particular case, I'm not going to. Not going to bother. Okay. That is as far as the cleaning goes. Let's paint. Yeah, as expected. Far too much. Yeah. Is there something else I can do with this? Not really. Too bad. After painting, I'm always putting my brushes into water. I don't know if it makes a difference in what kind of paint you use, but this seems to work okay to keep it soft. Last week when I did the primer, I wrapped it in foil and sealed it as good as I could, but when I got here this morning the old brush was rock hard, so that didn't work. So now today I'm going to try water and see what that does. We'll find out tomorrow. Now I'm kind of curious what you guys do. Please leave a comment below. Okay guys, this is it for today for me. I'm going to take a beer, relax a little, and then I'm going to create a bit of order in this chaos here. So I'm going to tidy up a bit, and then I'm going to enjoy the evening, and I see you guys tomorrow morning. See you guys tomorrow.
8 hours later.
Oh, hello. Good morning. And a good morning it is. The weather is beautiful, and before it gets too hot, I think I'd start painting. The second and final coat for the bilge in the engine compartment, and I'm not going to show you guys that because it would be pretty boring. And then I'll start doing some epoxy work. As I mentioned yesterday, I tried to save or reuse the roller and the brush, but yeah, I kept it in water overnight, but the roller was pretty much a no-go because it was really hard already. And yeah, the brush, let's see. Yeah, same. Solid. Too bad. Gotta use another brush. So keeping those in water doesn't work. Well, after the second coat, it even looks better. And it should be, because it's the only two coats she's gonna get. So as you can probably see over here, this is the inside of the hatch of the engine compartment. It's going through and through. And this thing poking out is a support for a table. And as you can tell, it's pretty disintegrated. So I'm not gonna bother making a perfect patch just to keep the engine compartment leak free, but I'm going to epoxy the top side of the support. Let's see if I can get it here. Of this support, fix a little some leaks, and then that should do it for the next couple of months. It's gonna be removed anyway, and the teak on top of the hatch is also gonna be replaced, so just temporary. Just so you know I mentioned using butyl tape before, but yeah, the plywood inside in the sandwich is so rotten, the screws won't hold on to it, so epoxy it is. So first let's take care of this inside and prevent any dirt and debris or even epoxy falling into the freshly painted engine compartment. Job done. Now the idea is to epoxy this in. So out with the paint. In the meantime, with a bit of leftover paint, I coated the structural thing beneath the pedestal. And in with the epoxy. Using the West systems just because it's so easy to use with these pumps. Now my guess is I don't need a whole lot, so 1 or 2 pumps of each should be sufficient. Stir stick, my cotton fiber, some gloves. Let's see what one pump gives us. That's 1. Yeah, make it 2. 2. And stir good enough so that you have the right consistency, and stir it good enough so both components are mixed well together. And then when ready with this, you add in the cotton fibers to get the consistency you want. Gotta be aware of the fact that I'm on camera and I always leave up my belly like this, my big belly. It's not very flattering, I guess, but hey, that's not important, is it? It's all about the inside. I actually made a bit of a mistake here because I'm using the fast hardener, the 205, and as it is pretty hot outside, this should be applied fairly quickly. Yeah, it's already getting hot, and I actually did mix in a little bit too much of the cotton fiber. So spread it out a little, slow down the process that generates all the heat. I'm going to get at it. It doesn't have to be pretty yet. Not in this stage. I think this will do for now. Now this is what I mean with wet yucky. Now I don't know if this bond is actually strong enough, because the metal, not even the metal, but the decking of this hatch is pretty soft inside, so there's some flex. In the end it will be a nice test to see what the epoxy does in this case. So there's not much I can do today, so I'm gonna call it a day and see you guys next weekend.
I'll be back.